Ready to step into history? Welcome to the 28th Massachusetts, Company B, an authentic Union reenactment unit based in Virginia with members across 6 states representing the famed Irish Brigade. Whether you're experienced or just starting out, if you love history, we'd love to have you in our ranks. Contact our recruiter to learn more. Please help our channel by liking this video, subscribing, and follow us on Instagram for more exclusive Civil War and reenacting content. The 28th Massachusetts, where history comes alive.
Deep in there. Very nice.
The Sharps rifle was one of the most advanced firearms of the Civil War. Invented by Christian Sharps in 1848, it was a single-shot breech-loading rifle that reloaded much faster than a muzzle-loading musket, even from a kneeling or prone position. A carbine version also served cavalry. Though nearly 3 times more expensive than a Springfield and with only about 11,000 issued, it proved invaluable. The Sharps was most famously carried by Berdan's sharpshooters, elite Union marksmen known for their deadly long-range accuracy. Other units, like the 13th Pennsylvania Reserves, also used it, and abolitionists wielded them in Bleeding, Kansas, where they became known as Beecher's Bibles. While never the most common rifle of the war, the Sharps earned a reputation as one of the finest and most accurate weapons of its time, remembered above all for its role with Union sharpshooters. Today we're going to disassemble, clean and reassemble our Armisport Sharps rifle. Like always, the first thing we are going to do is take off the sling. This sling is pretty old and you can tell it hasn't been treated, so we'll treat it with some Neat's foot oil which will soften and condition the leather, helping to restore moisture and flexibility while also darkening the leather's appearance. It's a traditional method for maintaining leather goods, particularly for preventing dryness and cracking. I always wear gloves when using these products. We'll just spray it down and rub it in. Make sure you never oversaturate the leather. First, we are going to remove the receiver lever or hinge pin. See that little button right there? Go ahead and push it in, rotate the lever clockwise and gently remove. Once the hinge pin is removed, you can pull out the breech block assembly, which will still have the lever attached. And man, look at all that carbon residue. This needs a deep clean. Now we will disassemble the breech block assembly. The first thing to do is remove the nipple. I pre-loosened it, but you'll likely need a nipple wrench to get it off. Since this is so dirty, we're going to fully disassemble the breech block assembly. First, remove the link to breech block screw on the side, which will release the lever from the breech block. With the lever released, you can see how hard it will be to clean the inside of the block. Luckily, we have a secret weapon. And here it is. A sonic jewelry cleaner. I'm still working on finding the best cleaning solution, and honestly, plain water works well. But in this case, I'll use some jewelry cleaner. I've also had good luck with concentrated gun cleaner as well. It's hard to see into the breech block, but it is very dirty. We'll put our breech block and lever parts in. Set the timer for 10 minutes. And let it work its magic. Check that out. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Let's see what we got. Man, that water is dirty. Wow, It's hard to see on the video, but there's absolutely no carbon left on or in the breech block. It's far better than anything you could do with tools. The outside is free of carbon and grime as well. The other parts are just as clean. Next, we are going to take the lock plate off. With the weapon pointing to the left, find the 2 lock plate screws on the back. If this was the Sharps carbine, you'd have your sling mount here. Then simply unscrew the 2 lock plate screws and remove. Flip the weapon around and the lock plate should come right off. Let's see how bad it is. Yeah, we'll need to get this cleaned up. Now give the lock plate and the lock plate trench a good once over to look for any damage. Next, we are going to take the barrel off. Just like the Springfield, the Sharps uses band springs, so just gently push in and the barrel band should come right off. After the 3 bands are off, look under the weapon and locate the fore-end screw. Once removed, the fore-end should come right off. And we are going to need to clean up this wood. Like with all our weapons, check the wood for any damage. Next, we will remove the lever spring, which is held on by a single screw. Both are filthy and will need to get cleaned. We will put all the parts in our sonic cleaner with warm water and cleaning solution and let it do its thing. Would you look at that? Sure beats scrubbing it. Alright, we are complete with the cleaning, and again the metal parts are pristine. No carbon, no oil, no grime whatsoever. We'll give these pieces a good rinse and dry them thoroughly. Okay, let's give the fore-end some TLC. This is actually the first time taking apart this weapon after buying it, and it's obvious the fore-end has not been taken off in a long time. There is a lot of loose powder, sand and grime on the inside channel. Now, linseed oil. Linseed oil creates a protective barrier against moisture and dirt, helping to prevent water damage and wood rot, and also helps to moisturize and nourish the wood, preventing it from becoming brittle or dry. In addition, linseed oil remains somewhat flexible, allowing the wood to expand and contract with changes in temperature and humidity without cracking. We'll apply a few drops and use our makeup application sponge to rub in an even coat. It's hard to see on the video, but the wood on the inside channel is very dry and is just sucking in the oil. Glad we are treating it. It will definitely take a few coats to fully protect it. Now we'll put it off to the side to fully dry. The next thing we are going to do is take the stock off. You'll find the 2 upper tang screws on the top of the weapon and remove them. The screws are pretty dirty, so we'll have to clean them. Then you will find the small screw under the weapon. Once you take them off, the stock should come right off. There we go. The wood will need a good cleaning as well. Look at all that residue. Make sure you look for any damage. Now we'll inspect the exposed metal parts. Looks good. No damage, but will need a cleaning. Now apologies, but I forgot to film taking the trigger assembly off from under the weapon, but luckily it's easy. You'll just remove the screws that attach it to the stock and it will come right off. While not super dirty, you can see I've placed it in our cleaner. Now we will remove the patch box cover assembly by removing the 3 screws that hold it onto the stock. After that, we will remove the butt plate. Simply find the butt plate screws and remove. Now we'll clean the screws, patch box hinge assembly, butt plate and trigger assembly in the sonic cleaner. Next, we'll inspect and clean the stock just like we did with the fore end. This wood is dry and thirsty and will need a nice even coat of linseed oil. Make sure you get in all the nooks and crannies. I'm going to leave the breech assembly attached to the barrel, and unfortunately it won't fit in the sonic cleaner, so we'll have to clean it the old-fashioned way. Luckily, the piece is very smooth and easy to clean. Once clean, remove the small hole plug screw and set aside. The pieces in the sonic cleaner are done, and while it's hard to see in the video, I can't tell you just how clean and oil and grime free these things are. I will give them a rinse with fresh water and then dry thoroughly and quickly. So all the metal parts we've taken off the weapon have been run through the sonic cleaner, rinsed off and fully dried. I just can't tell you how clean everything is. The sonic cleaner does an amazing job. Now we will move to the barrel. First, we will carefully remove this little screw right here, called the receiver lever spring screw. Be careful, because right after it will come the receiver lever spring. This is the spring that keeps the lever arm button pushed up. You don't have to remove this for every cleaning, but I wanted to in this case. Next, we'll wipe down the block assembly and barrel, removing all the loose carbon, grime and dirt. Next, we'll spray it down with ballistol and use some elbow grease. We'll let it sit for a few minutes and then we'll wipe it down. I've let the ballistol sit for a few minutes and now we'll wipe it off until all the grime is gone. Clean as a whistle. Now the inside. Depending on how bad it is, sometimes you'll need to take your wire bore brush and knock off some of the hardened carbon. You can see it coming out the bottom there. After that, I like to take a gun patch and something metal, like a flathead screwdriver, and make sure you get the channels and angles inside where the breech sits. Shouldn't be too long until you have everything clean and smooth. You can use one of these barrel cleaners with the leather, but I find they don't work very well. I like to use either my nylon brush with a cleaning patch attached to it or my .54 caliber jag. Either will get the barrel nice and clean, and unlike a closed breech, it's very easy to look down the bore to see how you are doing. Okay, we've gotten everything cleaned and boyo. Did this weapon need it? You can see I removed a few other pieces that I didn't video, such as the swivel screw base and disassembling the lever assembly, but these are very simple to remove with just a few screws. As this weapon hasn't been deep cleaned since I bought it, I wanted to really get after it. First thing that goes back on is our lever spring with the single small screw. I'm just going to put a little 3-in-1 oil on here and rub it over the barrel. Next, I'll take the wooden fore end and attach with the single bottom screw. Next on go the 3 barrel bands. Largest first, then medium and smallest last. As noted, I removed the sling swivels to clean them, so we'll reattach. I like to put a little bit of grease here, then simply reattach with the single screw. And there we go. Look how clean and pretty that looks. On to the next step. Next, we'll put the stock back on. First, we'll reattach the trigger guard. I didn't show removing this, but it's just 2 tang screws. You'll notice how the tang screws are 2 sizes. One is longer. The longer one goes to the front. You'll know if you mess this up if a tang screw doesn't reach through or is protruding. Next, we will put the sling swivel base back on by simply reinstalling the 2 screws. Then, like before, we'll reinstall the actual swivel. Next, we'll reinstall the patch box hinge cover assembly. Again, very easy to do. Just put it on using the 3 screws. Now the butt plate using the 2 butt plate screws. Lastly, we'll replace the final screw at the end of the trigger guard. It's the same type of screw as the butt plate screws. Next, we'll take this small screw which goes in right behind the breech block opening. Since this will be covered most of the time, I'm going to put a thin coat of 3-in-1 oil on the metal. Now a little oil on the lock plate. Now the lock plate should drop right in and be flush with the stock. Turn the weapon over and replace the 2 lock plate screws. So now the lever assembly. You will put the lever link back onto the lever. Then connect it with the lever link screw. Once connected, make sure the link moves freely. Next, take your link to breech block screw and attach the lever arm to the breech block. Once done, make sure that moves freely as well. Insert the breech block assembly back into the weapon like so. It should move smoothly in and out. Then you'll line up the holes on the lever arm to the hole on the weapon and insert the receiver lever to attach it. I put a little oil in the hole. It might take a little bit of wiggling to get it seated. I find it helps to have the lever forward and the pin should click right in place. For the sharps, I love my nipple wrench. Just cock the hammer and reattach the nipple. After the nipple is on, it's time for a functions check. Lower the hammer all the way down, then go to half cock and pull the trigger. The hammer should not fall. Then full cock, pull the trigger and the hammer should fall freely. The breech should open and close with no issues. Last but not least, time to reattach our sling. Easy peasy. If you want, you can put a cork in the barrel as a tampion, but I don't usually store my weapons with one in. And there you go. This is the cleanest this weapon has been since it was bought probably 20 years ago. Cannot wait to take it back to the range. And lastly, I recommend always storing your weapon in a bag of some sort. This is the awesome Ace case from Comer's Gunworks. I have one for each of my weapons. For $12, you can't go wrong. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it inspires you to get to know your weapon better. Please like and follow us on YouTube and Instagram, and if you are interested in falling in with the 28th Massachusetts, hit us up. We'd love to have you. See you in the field.